It is a true privilege and an honor to serve as ranking member of this committee. Senator Chambliss served as the top gun on our side for the last 6 years, and as I quickly note, I'm on page 3 instead of page 1. I better pay homage where homage is due. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman.
All right, it's about time.
All right. This kneeling business, I don't know about that, but I'll do my very best. As I've said before, the high road of humility is not often bothered by heavy traffic in Washington, but it is a very, very humbling experience and an honor and a privilege. And my congratulations on taking the gavel of the Agriculture Committee. I'm honored to be riding shotgun with you as this committee conducts oversight of the 2008 Farm Bill and the Dodd-Frank Act and investigates over burdensome regulations and the long-delayed trade agreements and prepares for the next Farm Bill, which will happen to be my 7th. That's a lot of farm bills. Kansas and Michigan have much in common in regards to the crops we grow. We both have wheat, corn, and soybeans producers, and of course, you do have something called specialty crops, big time. Additionally, I look forward to learning about the diversity you all have in production, crops like asparagus and berries. I even like asparagus. I understand you all have a pretty tasty wine in Michigan, too. So when the hour is late and we have any difficulty, why, maybe you could break that out. Michigan has over 19 million acres of forest land. That is a lot of forest land. Kansas, I'm talking about western Kansas, west of Highway 81, we have 19 trees. And we call them invasive species. Now back to my original page. But it is a true privilege and an honor to serve as ranking member. Senator Chambliss served as the top gun on our side for the last 6 years. He's taking on yeoman work as the ranking member of the Intelligence Committee. I want to thank Saxby for his tireless leadership, especially during the 2008 Farm Bill. I could go down the line, former chairman and ranking members who continued to serve this committee, Senators Lugar, Cochran, Leahy, and Harkin, and our former Secretary of Agriculture, Senator Johans. I feel compelled also to pay homage to Mr. Conrad, who has played a very key role in every farm bill that I've been involved with. The unprecedented depth of knowledge and experience on this committee, I think, is unprecedented this time around. And I think it will serve all of agriculture and rural America well. I also welcome 2 new members to the committee, Senator Hoeven from North Dakota and Senator Bozeman from Arkansas. The Agriculture Committee isn't often the first choice for new members, but we are fortunate to have your enthusiasm and expertise on board, and you made a wise choice. You'll find that this committee is a bit different than others and that you'll work just as much with members from the other side of the table as this side. In my experience with agriculture, I found that this committee on more occasions than not is a fine example of bipartisanship and comedy. Those are not just words, that's what we have to do. We must work together because too often agriculture programs become the target of criticism and attacks. We've already seen that. Our farmers and ranchers do produce the safest, most abundant, and affordable food and fiber supply in the world, all while facing increased input costs and tightening regulations. That quote has been said virtually by everybody on the committee and by Tom Harkin at least 17 times, 18 times. As if these challenges weren't enough, our producers face a challenge of worldwide significance. Let me remind all members that as the global population of the world tops 9 billion, probably 9.3 billion in the next several decades, agriculture production must more than double to meet the expected demand for food and nutrition. That, to me, is the key issue that we must face. And it is a moral issue, and it is an issue of national security, and it is an issue of world stability. And all you have to do is look at the conflagration going around the world today with many people suffering from malnutrition and starvation, and I think you can get the message. So as ranking member, I'm going to work to ensure that our producers have the tools and the necessary protection to meet this challenge. Why would we do anything, giving that imperative, that would be harmful to the men and women whose job it is to feed this country in a troubled and hungry world? So I really think we have to bear down and really do our oversight and do our homework to make sure that that doesn't happen. Today's hearing focuses on agriculture's contribution to our national economy. I appreciate our witnesses that are providing their perspective. Mr. Secretary, welcome back to the committee. I understand this is round 2 for you today. I think you were over on the House side. I hope our friends on the other side of the Hill treated you well. You don't look any worse for well. You look fine, sir. I also thank Mr. Honig from the Kansas City Federal Reserve for testifying on our second panel. I'll have more to say about him later. If those of you can stay to hear Tom, I would encourage you to do that. If there is a story written about somebody on the Fed who has a profile in courage, it would be Tom Honig. This afternoon, we will hear many positives about the current state of agriculture. As everybody knows, our prices are up, historical levels, the sun's shining. Well, maybe not in Kansas, but the sun is shining, usually a good thing. But any farmer in Kansas or Michigan or Iowa or even Vermont who has spent more than 2 weeks in the field can tell you that prices can change just as quickly as the weather. We on the authorizing committee must be mindful of that fact, especially as we move into the future debates on a safety net. Madam Chairwoman, I thank you for calling this hearing. I look forward not only to hearing what our panels have to say today, but also to working with you to drive agriculture policy in the 112th Congress. Thank you, ma'am.
Well, thank you very much, Senator Roberts. And just to follow up on one thing that you've said, I think this really is an extraordinary committee. When I look around